Alright, trying to find the inverse. Very first problem. First thing I'm always going to do is switch x and y. So the first one is going to be x equals y squared plus 3. And once I switch them, it's a series of undoing. So the first thing I need to do is get rid of the plus 3, so I'm going to undo that by subtracting 3 from both sides. So I have x minus 3 equals y squared. Then I need to undo that square, so I'm going to square root both sides. And here's where a lot of mistakes are made. When I square root, I get both the positive and the negative square root of x minus 3. Notice the x minus 3 is completely under the radical, because when I took the square root, I took the square root of the entire side. So that is the answer for A. Moving on to problem B. X equals, in parentheses, 1/4 y plus 6. And that is all being cubed. So for this one, since everything is inside parentheses, the first thing I actually need to do is cube root both sides. That gives me the cube root of x equals 1/4 y plus 6. From here, to undo that, I subtract 6 from both sides, giving me the cube root of x minus 6. And notice the root does not go over the negative 6 on this one. Equals 1/4 y. And now to get y by itself, I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. I am multiplying this entire thing by 4, so it needs to be in parentheses. I could distribute if I wanted to, but I don't necessarily need to. So 4 times the cube root of x minus 6 and close parenthesis. Again, I could distribute here if I would like to get 4 cube root of x minus 24. And the very last one. So x equals the square root of 5y minus 6. And for this one, I'm going to square both sides first, because everything on the right side is underneath the radical. So I have x squared equals 5y minus 6. I am then going to undo the negative 6, so I add 6 to both sides. So I have x squared plus 6 equals 5y. And then to undo that multiplication, I'm going to divide everything by 5. So for this one, I'm going to have y equals x squared plus 6 over 5. That is the inverse equation. However, you may want to remember that if I look at a graph of this, the graph is going to end up being a square root function. So it's going to be something like this. This is going to be a parabola, but to have the parabola, I'm only going to have half the parabola. So my parabola would only look like that. So we would have to restrict the domain. However, since it's only asking for the equation, there's the equation for it.